Howdy trainers, it is Meowdy. How are you guys doing today? I would like to discuss with you the beauty that is Pokemon Legends ZA. Recently announced this week, not getting it until next year, so we have quite a bit of time to speculate what potentially could be in our future. Keyword, I think it's the future. So in Pokemon Legends Arceus, we went back in time. I truly believe, I'm speculating that this will be the opposite. We will be going I'm not going to try to guess how long post X and Y we will be going in Z and A, but I definitely believe it will be a couple decades. It might be long enough to where we'll still see some of the classic characters all grown up in Z and A from X and Y. The reason for this, I really like just looking at like the trailer of pop right here, editing style. But we will be looking at the trailer. You can see that it shows Lumius. I can't pronounce it right. It shows the city kind of layered, and I think that's really cool. And I think that's going to really play in the exploration because the Pokemon game is going to take place solely in the city, which I think is very cool and very risky. I think that's going to be something that could either really benefit the game or also hurt it a lot with this already pretentious Pokemon community that I'm sure is one of the hardest to ever please, but it's, who knows, with it being a Pokemon Legends game, I think though is really helping it because Pokemon Legends Arceus, I honestly think was one of the most well accepted Pokemon games on the Switch so far. I know Sword and Shield got torn to pieces because of the freaking trees, and then Scarlet and Violet is, I don't know, Pokemon fans and the Switch just don't get along. It's weird. I don't understand it, but hey, I'm very excited for this next one. But I do speculate that it will be the future. I think we're doing the opposite of Legends Arceus, and we're actually going to see the evolution of the Kalos region exclusively in that city. I want to put a wild speculation out there. I don't think it's going to be exclusively in the city. I think it will strongly start in the city, and then like we might do something that takes us out of the city. I think that's definitely possible. That's more of a wild speculation of mine. I don't know if how much weight that's going to have. I think it'd be pretty cool if we get like 10 or 15 hours in the game. And it's like, boom, we're going somewhere else, but who knows? We're still a year away, so another speculation, I think, if I'm correct and it's in the future, I think we might see some of the Paradox forms from, I think it was Pokemon Violet that had the futuristic Paradox forms. I think we could see some of those either come to life in Legends ZA or even see new ones of these robotic versions of Pokemon. How much weight does that one hold? I'm not super confident in that one. I think that one would be far-fetched. It might be teased. Like we could see like scientists working on that in the city possibly. I'm just speculating here. I think it is kind of convenient that if it is the future, we just had a game that showed futuristic Pokemon and we just had a game that showed prehistoric Pokemon. I'm just saying. Obviously, some of the more like simple, safe speculations we can make is Mega Charizard Z. The memes that are going around of that have been really good. I think Mega Charizard Z is pretty likely. New Mega Forms in general. The 3 starters, I've been seeing a lot of speculation for probably going to be starters that don't already have alternate forms or Mega Evolutions. There's a whole list going around of people's speculation of that. I think the most popular right now is Empoleon, Superior, and Incineroar, which I think would be a really nice mix, bringing those 3. Just because, you know, Empoleon's a fan favorite. Gen 4 just ate really good. Well, Gen 4 did just get two new games, so who knows if that's going to be something that people want already, is Empoleon to come back. But if we get the Superior, that will help the black and white fans have a little representation, as well as Incineroar coming back. You know, one of my personal favorites. I know everyone's tired of the bipedal fighting fire, but I still think Incineroar is really cool, and it'd be nice to see him get like a Mega Form if they even do just mega forms, like I said, speculating, there's a chance that we'll see megas as well as like these futuristic re-evolutions or futuristic forms of Pokemon. Just like how in Legends Arceus, we saw prehistoric evolutions of Cypher, we saw Basculin get pre-evolution. I'm not sorry, pre-evolution, but evolution prehistoric. And then obviously we'll probably have new regional variants, just like how we had Growlithe in Legends Arceus get a regional variant. I'm sure we're going to see that in Legends ZA. That's a pretty easy guess and a pretty comfortable bingo board throw there. I am very curious to see though, because in Legends Arceus, we did get these awakened forms of Palkia and Dialga. I'm curious if we're going to see that carry over and get Yveltal and Xerneas. I butchered that word. Or if it's going to focus very heavily on Zygarde. Zygarde obviously will be a big focus of the game. I think that's pretty safe to assume. Being Pokemon Z, Zygarde not really getting the love that it seems like even the Pokemon company themselves wanted to get, kind of getting pushed into Sun and Moon there with the Zygarde cells, and then the different forms of Zygarde showing up in Sun and Moon instead of what I'm assuming there was a chance of Pokemon Z back in the day. I think that might have been, but then they moved to this like every 2 years having a new generation. I think might have caused that. I'm not really sure why we didn't get Z instead of Sun and Moon, but I think it's time we get to see a full-fledged Zygarde in Kalos. I think that's going to be a big spot. If I had to go real theory crafting, I think with how futuristic, if we're not doing a big time jump, I think the energy source of the city might be Zygarde related. I think that's something that we could see where Zygarde's really important to why this city is exploding if we're not going in the future. But yeah, I definitely think the legendaries will get touch, will get love. I don't know if they'll get full forms like Palkia and Dialga did. I think it's pretty safe to guess that they will. But Zygarde obviously will probably be the main focus, and then Xerneas and Yveltal will be kind of fun little hints. Or like I saw a really cool fan art. I'm gonna see if I find it before I edit this, I'll post it right here. But it was a it reminded me of Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, where Necrozma and Lunala and Solgaleo, the forms from that. It's not Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, but it was Yveltal and Xerneas with Zygarde. I thought that would look really cool, and I think would actually genuinely fit into the scheme there instead of doing like the awakened forms, or I guess was it called origin forms, Legends Arceus for Palkia and Dialga. I think that'd be pretty neat. And pretty comfortable. I don't think that's a really far-fetched idea out there. I think that's very realistic. The only thing I can think of like majorly different between Legends Arceus and Legends ZA that we could see is Legends Arceus was very... like the objective of documenting the Pokemon was pretty heavy. Like that was like the main part of the game. And if I'm right, and this is a future that we're going into, what are we going to be doing? Are we going to be researching just like in Legends Arceus? Are we going to be solely like maybe hunting down Zygarde? Like what is going to be our purpose? That's the one thing I can't really pick in my brain, because the purpose of Legends Arceus, like I said, it was the first Pokedex, stuff like that. But what I can't really see, I can't really comprehend what would be, if it would even follow that research formula, or if it's going to be completely different, which would be really nice. I think if it's completely different than Legends Arceus, where it's just possibly the only things that it carries over from Legends Arceus is the combat style, where you're just running around throwing things out. I think that'd be interesting to see, and it's not really like one for one, like, oh, we're researching, but in the future, like, I think it'd be nice to see that difference, that contrast. People were freaking out that the game was labeled action RPG, which Arceus was also labeled action RPG, because it doesn't have that stereotypical turn-based enter the instance combat. It's going to have the overworld combat just like Arceus, I believe. Go into the combat. I think a lot of the gameplay loop might be, honestly, I think the city is going to be layered. And so I think you're going to have your overworld, like the top of the city is going to be your shops, your social, stuff like that. And I think once you get lower in the cities where you're going to have a lot of your, like, maybe your wild Pokemon, and even just, it might be where you battle all their trainers, but also could be potentially where your wild Pokemon are living. Because there's honestly, I can't really picture where the wild Pokemon are going to be unless they have these little biodomes. Like if you saw on the map, those circles, those could be biodomes, like converted into biodomes where you meet the Pokemon. Or if I'm right, in the city's layered, maybe this Pokemon took back the lowest like level, and it's something like that. I'm very excited. Just like this is the main reason I'm really excited for this game, because I just don't know. I can't even like fathom what this could be. Legends Arceus is pretty straightforward. Oh, it's early. We're learning like what prehistoric Pokeballs. We're reading how like we documented the first Pokemon in Sinnoh for the first time. But if I'm correct and this is a futuristic game, it could be like just not even close to the same approach, just brand new. I don't know. I'm just so excited for this game. The more I keep talking about it in this video, the more excited I get, just because that genuine like sense of wonder and joy. Like I just can't decide. I can't figure out what it's going to be. What do you guys think it's going to be? Is it going to be future, be past? I saw some people talking about maybe because it's contrasting like the contrast between the 3D model and the old-fashioned parchment and ink for like planning out the city. Could we be going back and forth between the future and the past? Or I guess maybe the present and the past and the present. I don't know. I'm very excited. I'm excited to go back to Kalos. I'm excited to see some of the Zygarde love coming finally, even if it's just... I'll be really disappointed if it's just Zygarde's in the game. I really hope Zygarde is explored fully in this game and is the main focus, just like Arceus was. I know I saw a lot of people comparing the art, how Arceus was represented in Legends Arceus to how AZ, as the character from X and Y, might be that. You know, this mysterious character. We might go more into the war. I think if it is a past game and not a future, I think that's what we would focus on, is the AZ storyline and kind of how Xentus and Yveltal got into the cocoons. But I don't know. I think it's future. I think we're going to like maybe not cyberpunk levels, but I think we're going to go like tech bro, like 50 years from now. I guess from 50 years from then, stuff like that, where it's just really advanced. And I think it is going to be Zygarde related. I think Zygarde is going to be the reason we do have this technological advance, because I don't think they'll go hundreds of years in the future. I think they will go a couple decades. I think we'll be old enough to see the characters from X and Y grown up. I think that's what they're really going to go for. Well, I'm going to go for is saying stop recording, because I don't want to sit here and ramble your guys' ears off, but it has been Meowdy. If you guys like this video, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell, and I will see you guys next time.
Yeah.